sounds legit, don't you think? You know.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So, good evening, Dennis.
Hello, Eric.
What time is it where you are? Is it a particular hour?
It's happy hour, Eric.
Yeah, baby. Happyhour.fm.
We're doing Alaska Amber this evening at at least $1.18 higher than what I should have paid for it. I won't go back.
What a ripoff!
To the place that sold it to me. It was over $10 instead of under $9, which would be other places. And the other thing was second strike against him, and he's out. 2 strikes, just like baseball. And
two strikes and they're out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second one was, hey, do you sell a little opener? And he said, no, actually I don't. And I almost thought that, I didn't believe him, that I thought he wanted to sell it to me.
Right.
And what he really was going to say to me was, no, I don't, asshole.
Right.
It was that kind of...
Not to your kind. Yeah, that was the tone.
Because I said to him, do you sell Smittix, which is my #1 current amber Irish red ale? And he says, no. And I said, well, not to insult him, which apparently I did. Very much so, as now I'm putting it all together.
Yes.
Because I said, it's pronounced Smittix, but it's spelled Smithwicks. And the look he gave me was, now that I recall it, was, I know that, asshole. Yeah. I own a fucking beer store, right?
Nice.
And so that's why when I said, do you sell an opener? And he said, no, we don't. It was like, no, we don't, dude.
Right. Not to pretentious pricks like you. Yeah.
And I said, oh, well, and I looked at him and I said, well, that's odd, isn't it? A place that sells bottled beer not having an opener. And he just gave me turned his head like a German shepherd that's hearing the whistle.
Right.
And as he did that, I said, how odd. And I spun on my heels and I left, hopefully getting him to reflect a bit on just what transacted.
Yeah.
What? What do you mean you don't sell openers? Of course you do.
You mean I have to open this with my teeth outside?
Well, I can't. My teeth are fake in the front. I can't. They pop off. I'd look like somebody from Arkansas. You know that's where the toothbrush was invented.
Say that again. I think the Skype broke up as you said a derogatory thing about a state full of people.
So Arkansas.
Yeah.
That was the state that the toothbrush is named out of.
Okay.
And do you know how you know that, you might ask, if you were at all curious or clever?
Because your teeth sort of form an arc that you have to saw over them with the toothbrush?
No. If it was anyplace else, it'd be called the teeth brush.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let's pause for the audience reaction.
It took you a minute.
There you go. Well, I'm going to cut that out so it sounds like I got it really quickly. Well. It's lovely to be back with you again this week.
Well, we're in air conditioning now in our new air-conditioned domicile at the new home, which today was color testing day on the outside of the house. And so I went to the store, the Sherwin-Williams store, and I said, so I have this brochure, and I got it here, and I want to match those colors, and I need samples so I can paint part of my house. And I said, but the brochure doesn't seem to be here any longer, and I don't know where mine is. We moved. It's long gone, but it was, can you find it? And he said, and I showed him a picture of it. My daughter had sent, saying, I like these colors.
Right.
And he says, no, I've been here 6 years, and
we've never had that.
We've never had that. And I said, oh, well, actually, this is inarguable. I got this 3 weeks ago here. You did have it. And if you notice on your shelf, it has 7 racks, but it only has 5 brochures. So there appears to be 2 brochures that apparently are out of stock. And he said, I assure you, I've been here 6 years. And I said, well, I need you to Google it. And he said, well, they don't keep the brochures on Google. And I said, just Google what it says on my picture, which is called Historic Home Colors. And he does. And what comes up on the right away is the very picture I'm talking about, matching the brochure. And I said, so that's it. Freeze it and tell me what those colors are, because that's what I need, or give me the brochure. He is the manager. He becomes dismissive after this goes on. He clicks off of it, and then goes, and I said to him, why are you leaving the picture?
Right.
Don't look anyplace else. If you have it, it's there. He said, I don't think we have it. He's exasperated. He goes, he picks out a bunch of colors, little boards, and comes over and kind of fastidious, puts them down on the counter and says, the colors you need are somewhere in here. And he gives me about 8 choices.
Jeez.
He said, but I'm busy. I got a truck I got to unload, and she'll help you. And I said, oh, all right. And she comes over, and I said, listen, he wasn't very helpful. Let me start over. And I show her. She says, well, sometimes when out of stock, we keep them in drawers. Let me check.
No.
Boom, boom. No, we don't have them in drawers. Oh, I know. We don't have them. Let me call the West Edge store. Maybe they have them. Ring a, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we have them. Okay, I'll send them over. And I'm gone.
Why do you need a brochure to find the right color of paint?
Because that's the picture that my spouse used as her paint selection.
Right. Okay, but
so you have to know the codes of the colors to get the right mixture.
But that was not available from the picture you pulled up from Google.
Correct. All it was to show the colors, but in order to, so this is what happened at store 1. The first guy, he ends up saying, well, no. Then I go to West Edge. I go to the other store. I go there, and she says, well, this brochure doesn't. I have the brochure, but it doesn't seem to show the
color codes
because it's on the cover. Unlike everything on the inside, it doesn't show the teacher, but we can match it. And she picks colors, and she sells me samples, puts tops on them. I go home, get out of the car. One of the tops is off. It spills all over in the bag.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the wrong colors. I open up the brochure. There's the code on the inside. Small print, albeit. This is the code for the cover. By this time, I painted the entire image, a big window and around, of the colors that she gave me, 2 of 3 of which were the wrong color out of 3. So this is a half a day, blah, blah, blah. But I go back, and now it's 4 o'clock. I go back, and much to their great benefit, and to my benefit, they said, all of this is free. The new colors that we got wrong, those 2 are free. And the 2 new ones you want, those are free. Go. Let us know. You're going to buy your paint here anyway. We're good.
That's the way you should treat customers.
That was the manager who fixed it. The first 2 salespeople, the first guy was actually the manager.
Right.
Who probably should have given it to his subordinate early on.
Right.
If he wasn't going to give me the time. I think I look like a man who might need a lot of time to figure out these things.
No, that blows my mind. I don't know anything about the world of paint, but I do know a lot about the world of getting colors onto computer screens. And we have a pretty solid model that gives us, 6 million colors using just RGB, red, green, and blue, values from 0 to 255. And with that, we can more or less put any color on your screen that all the pixels can be defined in that way. And
you can match whatever someone gives you.
Right. And the reason that we don't have more is that, like, the human retina can't perceive more than that. So
mine can.
We've stopped at that. Well,
mine can.
Well, I said humans. You're a super creature.
I'm partly Fly. I am, in fact, the most recent version of Jeff Goldblum from The Fly. It's
okay.
Me.
I thought
early stages.
Early stages. You seemed awfully twitchy.
Well, I saw that with one of my 38 eyes. I did see you twitch when I twitched.
Right.
You had a certain look in your eye.
Like I was going to swat you?
No, but I have this desire about you I've never had, and forgive me for being forward, but I want to spit on you and then eat your face. So I think...
Well, that is the way...
I'm sorry that's the way I feel, but it's like taking me over, bro.
Well, that's just a lovely idea.
But it's not... So now the ugly truth comes out. It's not spit, it's actually vomit. So,
right, exactly, because that's the way flies eat.
But I didn't want to blow you completely out of mine, so I parsed it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know that I would let you excrete anything onto my face for later consumption.
I'm quick.
You're quick? Okay.
I'm like do you ever, hey, did you ever try to catch a fly?
I have.
So let me rephrase. Did you ever try to catch me? That's how fast I am. Boom, gone.
Wow.
Out of sight. Yeah, I got powers.
You're very quick, and you do like light at night. So
that's not a fly. It's a moth. They're different. You probably have both in Spain.
I'm sorry. Was
sure. I don't know. I don't know exactly what goes on over there, but my guess is that you have both flies and moths.
Yes, we do.
Spain.
Yes,
yeah.
It's true.
Right. So don't conflate them, as they say.
Inflate them?
Conflate.
Oh, okay. Because an inflated fly.
We could make money off that. We could make money. Listen, man, you get a fly.
Housefly balloons.
This is a fly made out of special material, rubber.
Yeah.
That comes small, the size of a fly. But not only can you blow it up bigger with your mouth, with your lips, but you can hook it up to a compressor because it gets as big as a room.
Whoa.
So when somebody that you want to fuck with, you say, hey, this and that about a fly.
Right.
You want to see it? You can't. Oh, you can't see it? Let's make it a little bigger, or maybe a little bigger. Well, then you just let loose and say, how big is this? And it fills the room until it pushes the person up against like a window, preferably, so they're looking out.
Right.
Right.
Flies do like to bang against windows.
Right. And then you deflate it, and then you get more money to deflate it. So they pay for the thrill, but they don't know that it's a dead end. Then they pay for the
This is not your first scheme where we are charging someone to do something that they think they want that ends up in discomfort that we then charge them to alleviate.
I'm not responsible for their decisions. That's
right.
That's the bottom line.
Right. I mean, the customer's always right. They can choose.
And our motto for these companies is, you tell us, we do it! Exclamation. We do it.
Yeah.
D-O, that
right.
You may not know spelled, all caps.
Right.
You tell us, we do it. See?
Unless we're putting water on grass, and then it might be D-E-W. But when you were describing that, I was thinking that the prank might be. I know my kids will often run into the room and say, there's a big fly after me. There's a big fly, and I say, well, how big is it? And they're like, it's huge. And so what you can do is you can do that, but then when the person comes into the room and says, yes. Oh, come on, I'll kill this little fly, whatever, and the fly is as big as a Volkswagen Bug, so to speak.
Do this. When your two kids say this,
right,
that's when we let it loose.
Right. I'll show you a big fly.
They're up against the windows, the little one in a smaller window, the bigger one in the bigger window, so that the scene is your two children pressed by a fly up against the glass, and then we sell, well, in this case, it would be you,
right,
the anecdote to make the fly small. And if that anecdote could be another animal, then there's another way to make money. There's another one-off. So if the anecdote, what eats flies? Frogs.
It's not an anecdote. It's an antidote.
Yeah, it's both of those things.
I mean,
it's both of those things.
It's like, hey, do you want to buy an anecdote? And they say, yes, please, I'm dying here. And you say, well, this one time, I was walking down the street.
Right.
Well, you meant antidote. Well, that's going to cost you more.
No, but you misunderstand. It's both. It's both. It is the physical antidote, and that whole thing
becomes an anecdote.
It is an anecdote. Right. And so back to the de-escalation of the fly, we sell them a frog, or what we might say is a frog.
Frag. Yeah.
Frog.
Yeah.
And then they buy it.
But
they can't get rid of the frog.
But hold on. The fly is as big as a room, and everyone's pressed up against the walls.
The frog's enormous.
How big is the fucking frog?
It's the size of your house.
Well, what?
Size of your house.
But is it also a rubber inflatable thing, or is it a living creature?
It's that's up to you.
We've done some biology.
You create it, whatever. No, it could be. It doesn't matter what it is. It's got to be big enough to be just completely effective but annoying. So it could be, let's say that a frog is nothing more than a couple of guys with hoses that spray a rubber, like a hard rubber coating over your house and the frog.
What?
Right? And so now it's a tar. It contains it.
It's a tar frog?
No, to contain the frog. We're in the second.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, we're beyond that.
Right.
And then, of course,
people are going to want to get their house back.
Well, so what do you have to hire? 5 or 6 guys with chisels and what do you call them? The concrete
jackhammers.
Jackhammers, right? So that's big bucks, and then everybody's happy. You're happy, we're happy, customers happy, everything's.
Well, I don't know how happy the customer's going to be. I don't know if they're going to recommend our services in the future.
We did everything they asked us to do. They told us, we did it.
Yeah. It's a little bit like how on certain TV shows, they will, rather than, like your typical Hollywood thing is there's a problem, someone comes in and they do something and it's solved, and then no one talks about the problem anymore. But what will often happen, what is more like real life, is a story where there's a problem, someone comes in to solve the problem, and they solve the problem, but they make an even bigger problem.
Yeah, right.
And then to solve that problem, they make an even bigger problem,
right.
which seems to be our whole business model with this.
Well, it's true. It's the way of the world.
Yeah, because
the way of the world.
Yeah,
I won't be poor forever. You know, not. Well, I wouldn't say we're poor. That's. Did you ever see Big Little Lies? Or no, what is it? The new HBO series.
Yeah, that's it. The one with the
Big Little Lies.
Yeah, with the rich ladies in California.
Yeah. Right. So it's incredibly active, just impeccable. Yeah. And
I watched most of the first season, I think, but I got a little tired of, I don't know, just how normal it was for people to be that fucking rich. Like,
yeah, right.
Like,
right.
Because
right.
and I felt like it was a show created by L.A. millionaires that sort of think that that's normal life with big houses on the coast.
Well, so that sounds like maybe you're just a little suspicious. Okay, but here's another take on that, and then you do what you will.
Take me where you will.
So here we are, and this is, in fact, as I believe it is, the way that people who have what appears to be an endless supply of money, how they live.
Right. That's
it. It's decadent. It's so fucking decadent. It's beautiful and gorgeous, and everything is just so.
And yet they're still miserable.
Which is why Woolsey's character, who doesn't have the money and has her son, Z, I believe it is, how she's different than there. She doesn't have that, and she grounds this in a way that, for me, it's much more believable or understandable.
Uh-huh.
It isn't unbelievable the rich are that way. It's hard to understand it. It's hard to look at that and say, really? You're hiring a Motown group of 5 talented musicians and dancers to do Motown for your child's birthday party,
right, on a Wednesday
in your house, in your house that has a ballroom and a pool that faces the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what they want you to consider: limitless wealth.
Right.
And in fact, that is the height of the decadence there, beyond anyone. Nicole Kidman and her character, while obviously very, very well off with whatever he did for a living, which I'm not sure was ever expressed in any way.
Right.
Other than he went away and he made a lot of money and he came back and they made what is obviously violent love. But so they've not. It's gorgeous. They're not lavish. The character that Laura Dern plays. Thanks. Wonderful Laura Dern plays is the quintessential rich bitch.
Right.
Who says to her husband upon indictment, "I will not be fucking not rich." right? And storms out. And then this lavish party is her way of saying, fuck all that. Tonight we're going to party. And the next thing you know, you're in this otherwise Hollywood fantasy, unbelievable. But here's the fact. It is believable. And it's decadent and it's repulsive.
Huh.
But the higher up they are perhaps on that money chain, the harder they fall. And I believe that level of decadence, unmatched by any other character, any other family there, will fall the furthest. There will be indictments.
Yeah, I like the. Again, you're farther along in it than I got to, but I do like because everyone likes to imagine. Oh, what if money was not an issue? What if you had $10 billion? What would you do? How would you live? And it's interesting to see that being played in a drama where you can sort of put yourself in their shoes and sort of imagine, what would life be like. And I especially find it interesting how money doesn't take away your problems. You just have a different kind of problems.
You know what? Case in point. A good friend of mine who you can Google and visit is Pat Hall, whose daddy was the mayor of Charlotte, North Carolina, and developed Carowinds, which was a regional huge success for early established family events like this.
Yeah, it's not a theme park; it's an amusement park.
Yes,
it's there's roller coasters and whatnot.
A multimillionaire, successful businessman becomes mayor of Charlotte, North Carolina, runs for governor. As he runs for governor, his son, Pat, is arrested for heroin possession, which years later he told me, and I believe was planted on him. He was busted, sent to prison, and his daddy withdrew as the Democratic nominee for the governor of North Carolina.
Huh.
Daddy and mom both died while Pat was in prison.
Wow.
And when Pat got out of prison, Pat came to me when I was working in a ex-convict organization, and he said, I'm here to help you and volunteer. I said, when'd you get out? He said, I just got out. I said, well, let's chill, stay out for a while, let's get together. Gave him some time frames. He came back. When he came back, it became clear to me all I'm telling you, and it was discovered that he was a multimillionaire. Huh. And I said to him...
Because his parents had died and left him all of their wealth, yeah.
Well, however it was shared with his brother,
sure,
et cetera.
Sure.
But he was very well off. And so I said to him one time, right to your point, I said, wow, so what's it like to be there, and I think I went to talk to him about switching careers and getting out of the justice arena and instead going to work for a bank and somehow make a lot of money, and wondered about that financial world. And Pat Hall was exceptional in his work, that he used his inheritance to build a business, that he was the person that found locations for movies and found different scenes. And so several movies, Pat was that person. And so I thought maybe it'd be fun to break into that, because North Carolina had an exploding films industry driven by its very forward-thinking tax credits for the business.
Right. Just
throw $1 down of a tax credit and get a $10 bill back.
Huh.
Boom. I mean, that good.
Yeah.
Right? I think. And maybe they went out of state more for employees and brought more people in than what was hoped for. Mm-hmm. I think that's a potential criticism. So he said, listen, how much do you worry about stuff? And I said, well, a good bit of the time. And he said, well, listen, I worry all the time. I never stop worrying. And I said, well, so what do you worry about?
Yeah.
And I flashed, as I do now, on eating dinner with him, his family, and them serving shrimp. And before the meal was over, there was a couple of shrimp left on the plate, and they ended up being thrown away because nobody ate them. Mm-hmm. That never would have happened in my world.
Right.
Not since I was born would you ever throw away food.
Right.
You just wouldn't do it. And I flashed on that, and he said, what I worry about all the time is everybody wants to steal my money.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get my money. Everybody. All day long, every day. And then,
because once people know that you have money, they, to someone that has 1% of what you have, they think, come on, you could increase my wealth by 50% with a 0.5% of your money.
I think that's true, but I don't think that was the sentiment.
No.
That was an external, I got to deal with people who want my investment.
Right.
He could deal with that in minutes every day.
Sure.
It could be no.
Yeah.
This was the people he had contracted with, who he had arrangements with, who might be more than nickel and diming him.
Right.
Let's say that he was doing a location manager, and he had to bring in all sorts of huge equipment and scenery, and all the equipment has to be there, and somehow he was managing that. And what if everybody who had to do that thing was trying to get more money from him than what they really needed? Oh, well, it's 2 hours. No, I think you could do it in about an hour. Well, no.
Yeah.
We'll have to charge you 2, and then if it's less than that,
we'll see.
Well, yeah, right. And then they get there and they're like, slow down, man.
Yeah.
Don't move that stuff. That was accentuated in the Tom Hanks movie, Big. Remember?
Which we have discussed on this show before.
It's a very point of working too fast. I think so.
Yeah, exactly. There it is. There it is. Slow down, man. You're making us look bad.
Over the cubby. Hey, psst, hey, slow down.
And Tom Hanks is like, "What do you mean? This is easy. I'm almost done."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I've already gone back 3 times. No, man, that pile's got to take you all day.
Nice.
That stands, and I think I've said this before, that movie stands as one of my all-time favorites.
Speaking of Tom Hanks, when we recently went up in the mountains here in North Carolina, we came across what is known as Forrest Gump curve, which apparently is a curve that was in the movie that Forrest was when he was running up a mountain when he was doing his crazy running thing.
That's cool, yeah.
Apparently he went up a curve that is that is just around here that we drove up on the way up the mountain.
Because you're in North Carolina.
I am in North Carolina this week.
Right.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, that was neat.
I love that movie too. I love that. I've seen it so many times. I love the scene with Richard Nixon so much. And
that technology that they used to create that was really cutting edge at the time.
Yeah, right. And to this day, it stands up.
Right.
Although, in a way, the roughness of it lends itself to the era of recording capability at the time.
Exactly. Right.
It was rough then.
Right.
So if it's a little rough now, it fits pretty well. So I think it's pretty damn perfect. I'm not sure if it will become too computerized. The thing I don't like about some of the current computerization, it's overdone, so that they're computerizing the actor's images.
Yeah.
So the actor's able to fly from place to place, and it's like, I'm cool with the stuff, but let the actor be the actor.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't want it to be a cartoon kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. The other cool thing that I love about the special effects in Forrest Gump is the ping pong.
Oh, God.
There is a great YouTube video that I will put in the show notes at happyhour.fm/014 that, or if you're listening on a podcast player, you can maybe scroll down and see some show notes. There's a cool making of video where they show how they had Tom Hanks playing with one of the world's best ping pong players, and they played for a little bit, but then they did this thing where they took away the ball, and they said, all right, just pretend that you're hitting the ball. And Tom Hanks, the great actor, was like, sure, I can do this, and he was swinging around. But the pro ping pong player was just so bumfuzzled about okay, because he's used to hitting a real goddamn ball, sure. not just hitting the air. And then they went in with CGI, what was limited at the time. Although if you're going to do CGI, a white sphere is about the easiest damn thing you can do. But they added the ball in afterwards, so it looked like they were hitting it back and forth based on where they were swinging and stuff. It's a really cool bit of that
crazy
cinema trivia.
The wonderful interplay between the presidents and Forrest Gump, where what President Nixon, President Johnson, I'm not all sure who all, but when they spoke, their lips were moving in such a way that the words they were saying made perfect sense. And then Forrest's character, of course, was free to say whatever he would say. But it reminds me of this whole series that I think we've talked about before, which is Bad Lip Syncing.
Yes.
And they do the debates. And
yes.
I find few things less hilarious than the Bernie Sanders Hillary Clinton debate. And you'll need to post that because it is hilarious. But
and that whole YouTube channel is done by one dude. He grew up with his parents are deaf or something, and I heard that. And so they used to watch the TV on with the sound down, and he just sort of learned to lip sync. I don't know the exact story. We'll post the Wikipedia link to him. But that's really cool.
The other high hilarity, which is it certainly rivals the Bernie Hillary debate, is the Romney Obama debate. And in fact, I don't know which is funnier, but anytime I want to rip, roar, and laugh, I just watch either one of those two. I just can't believe it. But in Forrest Gump, that whole quick opportunity there to do that lip syncing was there.
Yep.
And hey, it almost goes without saying, we could make money off of this.
How is that, Dennis?
Listen, man, people send us their telephone recordings,
right?
And we doctor them so that
it looks like Richard Nixon is saying it. That technology is here already. That's so scary. In the very near future, you're not going to be able to believe a video where you see someone saying something, because we already have the technology to make it look like someone is saying something. They can do. There's a great example that I'll put in the show notes of someone taking Barack Obama, because you need a lot of video footage of someone to feed into the computer to make this work. But a president or any celebrity is good enough, and they can make Barack Obama say anything more or less in real time.
Wow.
And it looks like it's his lips moving and his gestures. Sure. And so very soon, any video you see of a famous person saying something outrageous, we need to be really skeptical that really happened.
Right. And so it gives the entire world a new set of security risks that make it imperative for them to be shortened, that when you're doing either internet or verbal interaction, that you are who you say you are. And I did a rant, did I not, on the burden of proof on whether in my life I owned a certain kind of a fucking boat.
Yeah.
A fucking 12-foot boat, and they gave me 5 choices. I did that rant.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Well, so that's what it's getting to is and some of the ones I'm so like, I just tried none of the above, and it's wrong.
Right.
Whatever.
So, unfortunately, I had some other stuff to talk about, but I'm on a tight deadline to do family things. So I'm going to have to stop this episode here. It's going to be a little bit short, but we can have an extra long one next time.
But I haven't opened my second beer.
I know, man. I apologize. You're going to have to drink that on your own.
Hang on. Certainly have another minute for me.
Wait, do you have an opener? If you've enjoyed what you just heard, you can support us by telling a friend or sharing us on social media. Monthly donations to help us pay for hosting and editing can be provided at patreon.com/happyhour. That's all one word, happy hour. All our episodes, including show notes for each episode, are available on our website, happyhour.fm. You can tweet at us at happyhour.fm, that's with a dot spelled out, happyhour.dotfm, or we can receive email at the same name, happyhourdotfm@gmail.com. It would also be great if you could give us a positive rating on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. That really helps other people find us. See you next week.